friends, this is Stephanie with Stephanie's Yarn Escape. Thank you for joining me today for episode number 69. This is a crochet podcast where I take you on my yarny adventures in hopes that you find some sort of inspiration. So grab your favorite beverage, prop those feet up because you deserve to, and enjoy what I have to share. So today I feel that I have lots to share. I do have a finished object today, yay, and lots of progress on some whips. So here we go. But first off, I want to share my mug today. Look at the little dog. So me and my daughter had a mommy and me day where we went, it's about half an hour away to a town that they had a shop there. And basically you can go in and paint pottery and they cook it in the kiln for you. And then you go back later and pick it up. And I just went and picked this up yesterday. Me and my daughter went down. We both did mugs. She did a little mug with a flower on it, and I did a gnome one. It's by no means perfect, but oh my gosh, it was so much fun. She enjoyed the day. We did lots of things that day. So yes, and this was one of the things we did. We had so much fun. She already wants to go back. She's very, very creative, and she loved doing it that day. So it was a lot of fun. So Sherry has ideas on what she wants to paint next down there. So there's that little tidbit. Excuse me. So what did I work on? Well, let me share with you this corner to corner join as you go blanket. It is a tutorial, YouTube tutorial on Fiber Spider's channel. It got some love this week. I think I have the width that I want. So here's it so far. And then I want to go this wide. So it's a bit wider. I wanted the dark colors on the end. The dark with the red. I wanted it on the end. So I felt if I ended here, it was going to be, I guess it would have been okay. Still a good size. Maybe I should have ended there, but I went out two more blocks. So there's that progress so far. So it's going to be a decent sized blanket. And I'm going to tell you now, I need to get more yarn for this blanket to finish it off. So yes, loving it so far. Nice, easy peasy blanket. Like I said, it's a YouTube tutorial on Fiber Spider's channel. And yes, I will have to get more yarn, and that is okay. I'm all twisted here. So what yarn am I using? Well, I'm using some Big Twist yarn. I could go back those two sections if I really wanted to, honestly. I'll have to lay it down and look at it because I could reuse that yarn in those two sections in other blocks. I could do that because it's really long. It's really wide. I don't know. I have to take a look at that. The yarn I'm using is some of this Big Twist value yarn, 100% acrylic, 4 medium, 380 yards. This is the color Wine. This is the color Light Rose. And this is White. So these three colors are making that up. This is the last skein I have of the Light Rose. And the other one I have already am using out of is more than halfway gone. And I have this skein and another skein of the red. So I'm going to have to, especially of the Light Rose, I'm going to have to get a couple more skeins of that. Now, I definitely have to order more red. So my daughter and I ended up staying home from work. Well, I stayed home from work. My daughter stayed home from daycare on the Monday after Easter because she ended up getting a stomach bug that weekend. And she still wasn't feeling too well on Monday. And she's better now. And we basically sat all day and watched movies on Disney Plus. And one of the movies that we watched, and she's seen it hundreds of times now, is called Turning Red. And it's one of her favorites now. And there is a red panda in the movie. And he's like, or she's like dark orange and like really dark red. And my daughter asked me to make a red panda for her. So of course I'm going to. And I was thinking about this red color with a dark orange to make the red panda. But I think this weekend I'm actually going to go over the mountain to Hobby Lobby and look at their reds, because I'm going to see if I can get something a little bit darker of a red to make it out of. So we shall see. But nonetheless, if I can't find the right red from the Hobby Lobby, I love this yarn collection, I'm going to use this red, so I'm going to have to order some more anyway. So there's that. Slow progress on that. Just one of those easy peasy blankets. What else did I work on? Well, I did put some rounds on the Ardith baby blankets. Let's see here. It's a black and white picture. It can be found on Ravelry. Multiple pages. Multiple pages. I did put a few rounds on this one. Now, this one here, I probably would have had more rounds, but I had to go back and fix the mistake. So that's okay. That's the back. Here it is so far. It looks like a flower. It will start squaring off soon. I'm using an eye hook according to my stitch marker. Lots of ends. I try not to get too far ahead on my ends. I wait till I get a bunch of rows on, and then I go back and weave in some ends as I go, just in case I have to tear it out. Then I don't have to deal with the trying to pull that end out that's already tucked. So I'm trying not to get too far ahead on the ends, because I had to tear out, I believe it was this row here when I went to put the pink on. So I'm loving it so far, how it's turning out. I'm loving the color selection and the way I'm putting the colors. I'm glad I went with this. This pink is discontinued, so I'm hoping to use up the rest that I have in my stash. It's such a pretty pink. I hate that they discontinued it. A long time ago, they discontinued it. I hate that they did, because it's a really pretty pink, and this is the second project I've used it in. So, that stinks, but that's okay. It is what it is. We work around it, right? I'm hoping to be able to enter this in my local fair this year. That is the plan. So hopefully I have it done by then. Fingers crossed. The yarn I'm using for it, this is the discontinued yarn. It's Lion Brand Heartland. It's 100% acrylic, 4 medium. 251 yards. This is the color Denali. And I'm also using Grand Canyon, which you can still purchase. So I may have to purchase a skein or two to finish that off. And I'm putting in there Karen Simply Soft White, which is also a 4 medium, 100% acrylic. And 315 yards. So those 3 colors are making up that blanket. Now I did do a, I think a chevron in the same color pattern before, probably a year or 2 ago. I'm pretty sure I was doing, it may have been on an old podcast as well too. But I did it the same way with the pink, white, Grand Canyon white, pink, white, Grand Canyon white. And I'm just repeating that to get the effect. So hopefully it turns out, hopefully I have it done for the fair. That would be pretty cool. When I didn't enter anything into the fair last year. No, but the year before was my first time. And you don't get much for placing. I think I got second place for a fox blanket I did. And you don't get much. I think you get a few dollars for getting second place. And I think you get $5 for getting first place. Best in show or anything like that, I'm not sure what you get, because I only entered one time and I got second place. So I'm not sure what you get if you get all that. But I'm just doing it for the enjoyment to see how far I can get it. So we're going to do that with this year. Very excited about it. What else am I working on? So last 2 weeks ago, I announced the new It's Cake Time challenge, where you can pull out those cakes that you have stashed in your collection. I love cakes. I went on a big rant on my last episode. You'll have to check that out. What I thought about cakes. I love cakes, but they irritate me all at the same time. So, and my local yarny friend had gifted me some latte cakes a couple years ago that I want to start to use up. And I want to start using the cakes in my collection, so I created It's Cake Time. Usually when I do create the challenges and stuff on my Facebook page and my channel and stuff, I do them because it's something I'm also challenging myself with. So that's why I create a lot of the challenges I do, because it's something I need to challenge myself in as well too. So I wanted to use up some cakes. Like I said, my friend gave me some of these latte cakes and the colorway Kissy Kissy. I have 5 cakes of this stuff. It's a 5 bulky, 530 yards, 58% acrylic, 42% nylon. So I have a good chunk of my cake used up, right? Let me tell you about this. So when I was talking about it the last time, I was going to do this one particular pattern. It was actually linked down below. I have 5 cakes of this, so I want something that's big. It's for my house. It's mine. So looking for something big, and you know, I saw this pattern. I'm like, I'm going to put that with it. It's going to be great, fantastic, whatever. Well, I started it with this diamond lace pattern. It was a diamond lace baby pattern, and she gave the multiples to make it bigger. So I made it bigger. I was at like 200 and some odd stitches, and I'm probably about 8 or 9 rows in, and I'm like, this is very large, like too large, if that's possible. Like, I would love it to fit on my king size bed, but that's not what I'm going for. Like, I need, it was going to go, like, there's this crate that I bought from Hobby Lobby, that I got the inspiration from for this yarn to put in the crate, next to a chair, all cutesy stuff and whatnot. I'm doing a lot of babbling today. Hang on. Anyways, so it was way too big. I was fearing that, it would be longer than, or wider than it would be longer. It'd look funny. So I took it out. Then, I started, and I took about 50 stitches off. So I was about 160-ish stitches. And I'm working it up, and about 4 rows in, and I just was looking at the pattern. I'm like, I'm not sure if this pattern is for this yarn here. So I took it out again. And then I'm like, looking at my yarn, and I'm like, this is such gorgeous yarn. It just needs to be touched. It's so soft. It just needs to be touched. It doesn't need anything special. So I decided to go with an easy blanket. Now, I decided, 3rd time's a charm, that I'm going to just do a simple V-stitch pattern. And now look at it. Now it's still very wide. So it's over here, and it goes the whole way over here. So it's still very, very wide. Like, this is still cuttable. I can't even get it in the screen. So it's still cuttable size. My daughter is not going to like it because it has holes. She'd rather not have holes in her blankets, but whatever, it's not for her. So, yes, I'm decided to just do a simple, easy peasy V-stitch blanket. Let the yarn be pretty on its own. And it's striping up ever so nicely. And now this was the perfect pattern for it. And I will have plenty to go as wide as I want, or as long as I want. I may even have some left over. We shall see, because if I have any left over, I'm going to attempt to make an amigurumi out of this. So when I was working on it, I'm just like, oh, this would be very nice with an amigurumi. We'll see. But that's just me thinking while I'm crocheting, because this is an easy peasy blanket and I don't have to concentrate on it. So I got 2 of those going now. So yes, I like it. I'm glad I decided to switch it up. I still want to do that pattern though. The diamond lace blanket. Let me see if I didn't write it down for today. She has it's free on her blog. Crochet Diamond Lace Baby Blanket by Stitching Together. That was on the last episode that I did. It will be on this one. I'll link it again too. I still want to do something with that with a cake, because it is a very pretty pattern. So I'm still going to do something with it, just not this cake. This cake isn't for that. I believe in her pattern, she did use a cake in her pattern, and I believe she used sweet rolls. I may be wrong, but we shall see. I love it. I'm glad I went with something simple and just letting the yarn do the work, because it's so pretty, so soft. I love it. Love, love, love. So there's that. So like I said, there's the challenge over on my Facebook page. It's going to go to the end of June, and you have a chance to win 2 cakes of sweet rolls. Do that. Sweet roll by Premier. 100% acrylic, 4 medium, in the colorway Cheesecake Pop. I don't think I said that though when I announced this. And it's a 4 medium, and then one of my stitch markers. So you have a chance to win 2 cakes of that. People are just breezing right through these. Now, one thing I did add to the rolls. If you ever have any questions about rolls and what you can and can't do as far as the challenges, don't hesitate to message me. I appreciate it, because there's sometimes some things I don't think about. Now you have to use at least 1 full cake for this challenge. You can use a solid if you like. So if you want to use 3 cakes to make a blanket, but you want to put a solid in between your cakes, you can do that. As long as you have 1 cake in your project, you can do whatever you want. So hopefully I cleared up any questions you may have on entering the challenge. So hopefully that helps. Oh, what else did I work on? Well, Attack of the Amigurumi 2022 for April is mini bunnies. I'm not going to show you March yet or my March. March is over with. May is almost here, but I did finish up my March, but we're going to show you what I worked on for April. So the mini bunny was the challenge for the month. Everyone was going to do the same pattern. I wanted to see what everybody come up with the colorways. My goal was to do 3, like I wanted to do a trio. So technically, and I had done it to see how long it would take to see if I wanted to do the challenge. So this is the one I did. So technically I am already done with April, but I want to do 3. So of course I'm still behind. So the colorways people are coming up with are very, very cute. They're putting their own little spin on the pattern itself. I love it. I love taking a pattern and taking its basic building blocks and then adding my little touch to it. So in the pattern, she uses safety eyes, different yarn and everything. And mine, for this month, I wanted to challenge myself to work on embroidery eyes, because I don't typically use safety eyes for my amigurumi. I do embroidery eyes, and I wanted to work on my eye technique. So that's why I wanted to do 3 to do some different facial expressions on them. So this is the first one I've done. And then I do have the second one done. Now, I didn't get much done to it because I was trying to finish up my cow, which I did. But don't mind the creepy stitch markers because I'm marking it where she says in a pattern to put her eyes. Now, I only have this done. I don't have the ears or anything else done. And it has a little tail, by the way. So one thing I noticed with me, and not everybody's the same, but some people might be in the same boat as me. So when you use safety eyes, you want to attach your eyes before you close your object, the head. So she has you putting in your eyes and stitching on your nose before you close up. And I did that with this. Typically, I attach the facial features. I put on the facial features after I close up the head, but before I attach it to the body. But I was trying something different. I still like how my eyes turned out. I did some lashes. But I did discover doing this, because I did the eyes before I closed up, that I don't like that technique very much. No. Excuse me. So that's why I marked the eyes on this one, so I know where she put the eyes for a reference point. If that's where I put the eyes, I'm not sure. But I'm just using it as a reference point. I do have the body done. Like I said, I don't have anything else done. And I discovered during this process that I like attaching the eyes or working on my facial features after the head is closed and stuffed. I guess it doesn't really have to be closed, but it has to be stuffed. And usually I make all the parts and then I attach everything together. So that's just how I do things. But yes, so note for my future reference on that is I like doing the eyes after the fact. So, because I like the way I look at it is when I'm working on them, I'm thinking about what I want for their face and what I want to do. And I didn't have the chance to do that with this. I, felt like it was supposed to be something different by the time I was attaching it all together. But that's okay. And so when I'm attaching it, that's how I figure out what I want it to look like. And it's just an overall visual process and stuff like that. Blah, 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 blah. So for April, you have a chance to win 2 skeins of I Love This Yarn. One is I Love This Yarn print with one of my stitch markers in the color Cypress Landing. It's a 4 medium, 252 yards, 100% acrylic. And this one is in the colorway Ocean, and there are 355 yards. So there's more yards on the print, more yards on the solids than there is the print. So I thought those two would be cute to put together to make an amigurumi. That's what I'm trying to do when I do with the giveaways, is give you something you can make an amigurumi with. And I'm loving I Love This Yarn for the amigurumi. Love, 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 love. So you have a chance to win that. For the mint bunny, this is Red Heart. I don't know the colorway. It's caked up. Don't know why it's caked up in my stash. I may have attempted to use it for something, changed my mind, got rid of the label, whatever. I thought it paired well with my peach bunny. And then I think I'm going to do a white one as my third, as my trio. So, little blurb there. So what's next? What else did I work on? I am going to announce the Attack of the Amigurumi for May this week. I have been doing basically every other week videos, and that's probably going to be how it goes for quite some time, unless I feel or have time to do one weekly. Things are changing around here. Summer's coming. My daughter loves playing outside. We go to the pool a lot, but things are changing for me personally here, and I am going to be very busy. Very, very busy. So I'm not going to put the pressure on myself to try and record every week, so it's going to be every other week, more than likely. So I am going to announce today the May Attack of the Amigurumi theme, but not till later. So What else did I work on? Well, I was working on my design this week. And I have to tell you that my first sample piece is complete. I'm so excited. It turned out exactly how I wanted it. I need to make some tweaks to it. So I'm very excited. So it's going to be, it's a diamond shape. I don't have a name for it or anything like that. Let me try and look like I'm riding a struggle bus here in front of you. With putting this on. So I like it. Now, this is sample piece number 1. And then I'm going to type up the notes that I have, the pattern. I'm hoping to do that today. Time is not my friend anymore. I'm hoping to do that today. And work on sample piece number 2. In my vision that I had, this is the color that I see the final piece being in. And it's this Yarn Bee at 44th Street in the color mustard. This is a 3 light, 540 yards, 70% acrylic, 30% polyamide. Super soft. And it's not going to look like this. Now this yarn here, look at this texture. I don't know if you can see it, but, oh, there you can see some. Yes. So this sample piece is done in Yarn Bee Urban Chick. Very pretty. Colorway Berry. It's a 3 light, 78% acrylic, 22% cotton, 275 yards. So I have quite a bit. So here's my mental process. So in here is 540 yards. You can still purchase this yarn. I'm hoping to be able to use up pretty much this whole cake. And there's 275 yards in here. So there's a few more yards in here than there is in here. And look how much I have left over. And of course I was trying to save some for the border. No border. I finished around with a border and we're leaving it as is. So when I type up the pattern and start my next sample piece with this yarn, I'm going to tweak it a little bit more. And it's also going to be smaller because they're both 3 lights, but they're both not the same. And I'll see if I can show you. And I made this, and I used a sample out of this yarn because this you cannot frog. Just a heads up on that. It is not easy. So they're both 3 lights, but they're both not the same. If you guys can see that. This one is a little, the mustard is a little bit thinner than the Urban Chick one. So it's going to end up smaller. But I have enough yarn left over to tweak it. I'm going to block this just a smidge, but I don't want to stretch it out because I want to leave the closed texture. I don't want it to air it out. Like, I don't want to space it out. I love the texture. It's supposed to be nice and cozy wrapped around you. So exactly what I wanted. I'm very excited. Love it. I'm even loving it in this colorway as well too. So very pretty. And so I'm hoping I can get it typed up. It's going to take a while. There's like 150, if not more, rows, 60, 70 rows. And each row has to be written out because the stitch count is different. There's increases, decreases. Each row is different. There's no repeat rows. They're very similar, but they're different. And I want to make this pattern as easy to follow as I can. So I'm going to type out every single row. I'm hoping to have a stitch count guide at the end of the pattern. We're going to the 9s on this one. But also, you know, I'm also working on a different design, 2 different designs as well too. They're both blankets. One is going to take a very long time because it's a graph. And then the other one is an easy peasy one. I don't have any sample pieces worked up yet. It's all visualization and looking at colors right now for the simple one and working on the computer design of the graph one that I was looking into. So lots and lots of stuff happening. And I'm thinking about designing a gnome. Now, I didn't think I would be ready to design an amigurumi yet, but I have an idea and I might take the plunge. It's just all mental things right now. Nothing solid yet. So don't take my word on anything yet. So this is closer to being released than anything else in the design world and for me. And so this is what you have to look forward to first. Very excited about it. It's being housed in this bag here that I got from Kim from the Crafty Nomad. So lots of things happening. So excited. What else did I work on? Well, I have hairs all over me. I finished my cow. I finished my cow. I feel like I'm forgetting something. No, that should be it besides the cow. I finished my cow. You ready? Hold on, let me get a drink. Take a pause. Her name is Clara. Clara the cow. This pattern is by Jess Huff. Was it a Jess Huff pattern? Yes, it's a Jess Huff pattern. So, let me tell you about Miss Clara. Miss Clara, there were some new things here that I learned for the pattern. And I love it when I learn new things with patterns and try new things that I'm not used to, because that's how we get more knowledge and better at what we do, right? So, and she has a sunflower. And she has lashes. She has spots and a tail. So, and her hooves are indented. So, what new techniques did I learn with Miss Clara? I've never done the indented eyes, so that is new for me. I attempted one time and failed, but this one was successful. Her eyes are embroidered on. I wanted to do something completely different for her eyes, and I spent about an hour and a half trying to achieve it and was very frustrated. And when I put it there to look at it, I didn't like it. So, and I went with what I have been doing, the eyes with the lashes. Her flowers coming up with her lashes open. So the indented eyes is the new thing for me that I did. This one is, I've never done it before, the indentation on the hooves to make it more realistic. So that's new for me, but it's not. Is that a technique? Yeah, I consider it, because I've never done that on an amigurumi before. Easy peasy to do, but I've never done it. So are the indented eyes. But what else? Well, in the pattern, the cow has horns, and you don't have to put the horns on. You could do whatever you want to any pattern that you do. You don't have to follow the pattern to the T, and I did not. So, I took out the horns, and in my initial thought process when I was creating Clara is I wanted to make her a hat with a sunflower on the hat and have her ear coming through like the center of the hat, so it's like attached, but not attached. You could take off the hat, but I wanted her ear to poke up through the top of the hat. But with where I placed her ears, that wasn't going to work. So I would have put the hat on, and she would probably been one side too heavy. So, excuse me. So I did not do that. It would have been cute though. But if her ears were a little bit higher, I need, if I do that again, if I do that idea on another amigurumi, Their ears need to be a little bit higher for me to place that. So she would have been too side heavy for that, because I wanted it to look like a straw hat. So I was going to use like Red Heart Buff and make a straw hat and put like a little sunflower like by the brim. So cute. So I decided instead to just put a sunflower on her. And then I was also on the fence about that. I was hawing around about that for about a day, deciding if I wanted to put a flower. I kept looking at her. Does she need a flower? Does she not? I'm not sure. Made up the flower, and I was putting her on there, and I was like, I don't know. And then I was talking to my local yarny friend, and I said, I need some yarn help, and I sent her a picture. She said, do it, place it now, right where it's at. And I said, okay, and that's what I did, and it's perfect. I love it. Clara the cow. Love, love, love. Some spots. I thought about making a spot for her up here. She's got a white ear and a black ear. But I love it. I love how she turned out. She's beautiful. So, that was her moment in glory right there. Well, so that was my March theme. Finally done. It's what, April 24th? And, well, I finished her up during last weekend. I finished her up. So she's been done for about a week. But you guys have been following me long enough. I'm usually behind on my amigurumi for the month. I was hoping to get caught up with the bunnies, but then I had to say I wanted to do 3. So, can't make anything easy on myself, right? So, and I also said I'm probably going to be doing my episodes every other week. So, the end of the month is this week. Not sure. This weekend is beginning of May. So I'm going to go ahead and announce my May theme. So for May, we are going to do Around the Pond. Yes, I'm very excited about it. So basically, like I said, when I do challenges or when I think about these themes that I want to do, I create it around what I want to make next, or what I want to work on, or what technique I want to work on, what have you. And there was these ducks by Grace and Yarn, which I just did her llama pattern the other month. Excuse me. And there is little ducks, a little duck pattern that I want to do. So that's my plan, is to do ducks. So we're going to do Around the Pond. So things may include frogs, lightning bugs, fish, turtles, ducks, beavers, snakes, swans, geese, snails, dragonflies, what have you. So, just to reiterate some of the rules as before, if you make something small, it has to have great detail, lots of detail. You can't, it's like if you make a snake, it just can't make a tube and put a little bit of stuffing in there. Maybe put some eyes on it and a tongue and, you know, rattles for like a rattlesnake or stuff like that. So make it more detailed if it's going to be something simple and small. If you were to do something, you know, larger, you know, whatever works. I'm just trying to get the people that are putting great detail into some of these projects, you know, make it fair for everybody who's putting a lot of effort in. Now, I also want you to pay attention when I do the giveaway videos on Facebook. I'm doing something a little bit different, so just make sure you try and watch it the whole way through. There's some hidden things in there, okay? Just a heads up on that. So hopefully I'm announcing this weekend the April winner. Loving everybody's mini bunnies. I'm hoping to get my mini bunnies done or almost done this week so I can start on my ducky. Big plans for my ducks. The pattern by Grace and Yarn. She has a boy and a girl duck. And I kind of want to do that too. Kind of like I did the llamas. I did a boy and a girl llama. I kind of want to do a boy and a girl ducky. I do this to myself all the time. Why? I'm not sure, but I do, and it's okay. I think that's all I have to share. This has been a longer episode than my usual. Clara, with Clara, me and Clara. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go, oh, I never told you what yarn I use for Clara. Let me share with you that real quick. It's all I Love This Yarn. So we got the Gray Mist, which I think is the gray she even said she used in her pattern. Gray Mist. White. These are very sad skeins, okay? Very sad skeins. White. Black. And for the nose and inside the ears, I use this soft pink. Oh, I love this yarn. I'm trying to increase my I Love This Yarn stash because it works great for blankets and amigurumi. Love it for the amigurumis too. They make it nice and soft and cuttable. 100% acrylic. For medium, 355 yards for all these because they're all the solids. So, and it's being housed. And I'm trying to shove everything back in this bag that my mom made me for Christmas a couple years ago, which is going to then house, I think I'm going to put my mini bunnies in there now because they've just been sitting out on my little cart. And then I want to start my red panda for my daughter. So I want to get started on that. So, Clara. Okay, I think that's it this time. I am pretty sure. So until next time, remember to keep that yarn running through his fingers. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.